Everyone knows that El Salvador and President Bukele, they've been adopting Bitcoin. They love Bitcoin. They're literally plugging their entire nation state into the Bitcoin network. They've been purchasing Bitcoin. They've been giving Bitcoin directly to their citizens. They've built an entire network of ATMs. They're building Bitcoin City. They're even creating Bitcoin-backed bonds to fund a city at the bottom of a volcano. Everyone's eyes are on El Salvador. But remember, they only have about 6.5 million people for their population. And they only have about $25 billion in GDP. It's a small nation by almost any way you can evaluate it. But that hasn't stopped United States politicians from going ahead and actually creating brand new legislation that wants to go and look at the El Salvador situation. Now, here's what the new legislation is actually asking. The State Department wants a report on El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender, and they want a plan to mitigate potential risks to the U.S. financial system. Now, this is absolutely crazy. We're talking about a country with 6.5 million people and $25 billion in GDP. Do we really think that they actually could be a risk to the U.S. financial system? That's nuts. Maybe we should be more focused on things here at home. Now, of course, President Bukele, he had some choice words for the United States and those politicians. In a tweet, he said, "Okay, boomers, you have zero jurisdiction on a sovereign and independent nation. We are not your colony, your backyard, or your front yard. Stay out of our internal affairs. Don't try to control something you can't control." And so if we go ahead and look, what exactly are the politicians trying to do? Well, here's a quick overview. There's 3 specific politicians that are introducing that legislation to mitigate risks of El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin. And if we actually look at Senator Jim Risch and what he's trying to accomplish, he specifically said this new policy has the potential to weaken U.S. sanctions, empowering malign actors like China and organized criminal organizations. What is going on? Why are we worried about what El Salvador is doing? We have plenty of problems here at home. We've got 7.5% inflation. We've got unemployment that still is higher than it was pre-pandemic. We've got almost 11 million open jobs, and we got a lot of other problems we can be focused on. Now, of course, Bitcoin can't be controlled. There is no financial censorship that is available. The United States, as the creator and distributor of the global reserve currency, has enjoyed the position of being able to actually levy sanctions around countries all over the globe. Bitcoin prevents them from doing that. And what we have to begin to realize is that there's a lot of countries that aren't necessarily adversaries of the United States. They just don't want the looming threat of the U.S. cutting their citizens off from the global financial system. And Bitcoin allows, because it is censorship-resistant money. And that is exactly what Bukele is describing. He's saying you can't control Bitcoin. Stay out of our business. Why are you coming and messing with our internal affairs? I think these are great questions. And more people are asking, why does the United States think that we are the global police? Now, El Salvador, here's the best part. They literally hold about $75 million worth of Bitcoin. This is nothing in the grand scheme of the global financial system. And ultimately, what I think is occurring here is that there's some politicians who are uneducated, who don't quite yet get what's going on with the younger generation adopting this decentralized digital store of value. And whether it's 75 million or $75 billion, they simply want to create legislation. They want to create noise. They want to remain relevant. They want to be able to go back, puff out their chest, and tell their constituents, look, I'm looking out for you. If that was true, they wouldn't be focused on what El Salvador is doing. Instead, we'd be focused right here at home. We have a lot of problems. We need to solve them. I'm glad that President Bukele is giving his citizens Bitcoin. Maybe the politicians here in the United States, they should be focused on handing Bitcoin directly to the citizens as well. Because Bitcoin is good for business. It's good for individuals. It's good for corporations. It's good for financial institutions. And it's good for nation states. Ultimately, Bitcoin is inevitable. If U.S. politicians want to continue to serve their constituents, they're going to have to be friendly to Bitcoin. They're going to have to drive adoption of Bitcoin. Because if not, the Bitcoiners, the crypto community, they're going to vote them out of office. Hey, you, did you like this video? Great. We make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and see you next time.